It's not unusual that I get a letter from somebody who has been convicted of a crime and is in the penitentiary already asking me to represent them. The letter usually comes with some high praise. Sometimes I'm even told that they found my card in the Bible they were reading, and they believe that God sent me to represent them. Well, that's post-conviction relief work, and I don't do post-conviction relief. If you've had another lawyer and you've either had a trial and been found guilty or you've pled guilty and gone to the penitentiary, then I just don't do that. There are plenty of lawyers that specialize in that type of work. But I do get other letters from penitentiaries, and sometimes they're referred by a family member. Sometimes somebody they know says to contact me. So one day I get a letter from a guy who is in the Eastern Missouri Correctional Center in Bowling Green, Missouri. That's about an hour from my office, maybe. It's up Highway 61. And I generally wouldn't go up and see a guy like that, but he wanted me to represent him on a new case that he had been charged with. He was already in the penitentiary on something else, and after that he got a new charge. So I go to Hannibal a lot, which is north of Bowling Green by about a half hour, 45 minutes, and I spend a lot of time up there in the land of Mark Twain and Huckleberry Finn and Becky Thatcher. So I figured I'd make arrangements to see this guy. In order to see somebody in the penitentiary here in Missouri, you have to call the facility, and sometimes they'll want you to write a letter, and they want your bar number and various information about you to make sure you're on the up and up. And then they'll set up a very specific appointment. I managed to get an appointment set up, and I had a court appearance in Hannibal, and on the way back I thought I'd stop and see this guy. So you go to the department, and I think you have to leave your cell phone in the car. I take hardly anything in with me because you have to be screened, and they empty your pockets, and you take all of your keys and change and wallet and everything, and you put it in a little locker, and they give you a key for it. And so you get your key, and you go through the metal detector, and they run your briefcase, if you have one, through the screener. Then you go down to another door, and they open that door, and then you go into a little room, and the door closes behind you, and the door in front of you won't open when the door behind you is open, and you pass through these passageways, and eventually you get to a visitors area. Now, they put me this time into a little room, which was nice because you don't want to be out talking about legal issues with other people around. They put me in a little room, and I sat there and waited for a while, and pretty soon the door opens, and in comes this prisoner, and he's just beaming, and he looks out and he says, "Oh, Mr. Schoenberg, it's wonderful to meet you. Everybody in here says you're great." I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a great recommendation to me.